On the 3rd of January, I shared a message, it's time to dream again. And at that time, I shared that the elders were going to set new goals for our church ministry for 2021. As we come out of the 21 days, we wanted to set them in a place of faith and coming out of prayer. What an incredible elders meeting we had last Tuesday when we set these goals. And the 2021 CCC, Calvary Community Corporate Goals, we are believing for one person to come to Christ every week. 52 decisions for Jesus Christ this next year. We've already had 2 this year. Praise God for that. We had 21 last year, and with COVID and everything hitting. And by the way, we're aware that COVID and the restrictions will likely, to some measure, go on for all of next year. That's kind of what we're thinking. I'm hoping we're wrong and everything is back to normal. But we have set these goals understanding we need to thrive in the midst of this pandemic. And for community people touched, we're believing for 4,500 people touched through the ministry of this church in a physical way. 2,750 last year. And here's another one. COVID has brought a disconnect. And we need to reconnect, folks. And we're believing by the end of 2021, there's going to be 200 people meeting weekly in a small group, either in person or online. And I want to encourage you, we have to figure out how to thrive in the midst of 2021 and not just wait till something is over, okay? And here's a new one that we've added. They're suggesting in my readings, and I'm so thankful for the sitting elder that brought this one to us, but it's been suggested that the post-pandemic church will be a church of engagement rather than a church of attendance. The goal is no longer to see how many people we can have sitting on a seat. The goal is going to be to see how many people we can have engaged in the mission of Jesus Christ. And we've added a new one. It's volunteers, we're just calling it. And we're saying 30 new people will be engaged in mission with us here in 2021. We're believing for that. So this is God-sized stuff. We can't make it happen, but that's why we're praying. That's why we're fasting. That's why we're continuing to seek Jesus. And you know, a church is made up of the people, right? The people make up the church. So we've set some 2021 corporate goals for each quarter, each 3 months. And we're suggesting that it's very reasonable for all of us as church members to have at least 2 spiritual conversations outside of the church, outside of your family, outside of your small group, but out in the community somewhere, 2 spiritual conversations per quarter. And you know what? Just let it flow. Just let it flow. I was at a medical appointment, and I hadn't even been thinking of this goal. I walk in, the receptionist says, "How are you doing? And what's new and exciting in your life?" And I said, "You know what's new and exciting is we're in 21 days of prayer and fasting." Not sure that's what you expected. Had a conversation, and so it might be that kind of thing. It might be once the restaurants reopen. How many of you believe the restaurants will reopen someday? If they're still in business, right? You know, when the waitress or waiter comes, and you could say something like, you know, when the food comes, we always give thanks and pray for the food. Is there anything I can pray for you about? And we've had some great conversations, but all kinds of different ways. Just let it flow. I was talking to one of the worship team members that works at a local supply company here in the city, and she is saying she's having an incredible time at work with spiritual conversations. And then invites to online church or in-person church. And yes, we need to do the Facebook shares. I'm hoping every single week when our posts come out, you guys are sharing them. That doesn't count for this. That's too easy. You just hit share. But what counts is sending a message to somebody on Messenger, or sending a text, or picking up the phone and phoning them, or inviting them in person to church. 2 invites to online church and in-person church per quarter. You think that's doable? So that's what it's going to take. for us to continue to move forward with the mission. And I am really excited about 2021. How many of you excited about this next year? Praise His name.